People think betrayal comes in the form of a dramatic moment, a caught text, a suspicious meeting, a lipstick stain. But sometimes, it's silence that gives it away. I first noticed something was wrong when her friends stopped talking to me. It was subtle at first. Little things. The usual group dinners we used to have with her friends suddenly stopped happening. A few months ago, I'd walk into the room and be greeted with smiles, laughter, inside jokes. But now? Avoidance. Cold nods. Excuses when I suggested plans. At first, I thought it was nothing. Maybe I was imagining it. Maybe they were just busy. But then, at a party we attended together, I felt the shift more clearly than ever. We arrived at Jason and Kelly's house late, and the moment we stepped in, I felt the temperature drop. Not literally, but in the way people looked at me. Conversations died when I walked by. Her friends, my wife's closest circle, avoided my eyes, whispered when they thought I wasn't looking. But when she spoke to them, everything was normal. I wasn't crazy. Something was going on, and I needed to find out what. That night, lying next to Brittany in bed, I stared at the ceiling, trying to piece it together. She had been off lately, more secretive, checking her phone more than usual, locking her screen faster when I walked into the room. She had been working late more often, even though I knew her workload hadn't changed. And now, her friends, our friends, were treating me like an outsider. I turned my head, watching her sleep. If something was happening, I needed to know. And so, the next morning, I started watching. It began with her phone. Brittany had always been protective of it, but not like this. She used to leave it charging on the nightstand. Now, it was always with her. Even when she showered, she took it into the bathroom. She never used to do that. One night, while she was asleep, I tried unlocking it. Wrong password. She had changed it. That was all the confirmation I needed. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I dug deeper. She used her laptop in the living room often, answering emails, editing photos. One evening, while she was cooking, she left it open on the couch. My heart pounded as I sat down, glancing toward the kitchen to make sure she wasn't coming back. I checked her messages. Nothing. She had deleted everything. Then I went into her email. At first, everything seemed normal. Work emails. Shopping receipts. A flight confirmation. Wait. A flight confirmation? I clicked on it. Round trip. Booked 2 weeks ago. A vacation. But I wasn't on it. The second ticket? For someone named Ryan. I felt my pulse in my ears. Ryan. Who the hell was Ryan? I checked the dates. She was supposed to leave next month. She had planned an entire vacation with another man, while sleeping next to me every night. The room blurred as rage built in my chest. My hands clenched into fists, nails digging into my palms. I closed the laptop and sat back, exhaling slowly. So this was what she had been hiding. I didn't slam the laptop shut. I didn't storm into the kitchen and demand an explanation. No, I sat there, forcing myself to stay calm. She thought she was smart. She thought she had covered her tracks, that I would never notice. She was wrong. She had no idea what was coming. For the next few weeks, I pretended everything was normal. I kissed her goodbye in the mornings. I asked about her day. I let her believe I was the same clueless husband she thought she could outsmart. But behind the scenes, I was working. I found Ryan. It wasn't hard. I searched her social media, dug through old photos, cross-checked locations. And then, I found his name tagged in a comment. A coworker. My blood ran cold. She was cheating with someone from her office. I went deeper. Ryan was younger than me by a few years. Single. The kind of guy who posted gym selfies, flashy vacation photos, pictures of himself at bars with women hanging off his arm. And Brittany was throwing away everything for him? I clenched my jaw. She was going to regret this. The next part of my plan was her vacation. She had no idea that I knew. She still smiled when she talked about going on a work trip next month. Still kissed me before bed, still acted like she wasn't planning to run off with another man behind my back. I let her. And then, I canceled everything. I logged into our joint bank account, the one she had used to book the flights. I disputed the transaction. Fraud claim. Then, I went into the airline's website and canceled both tickets. She would never see the inside of that plane. She would never sip cocktails on a beach with Ryan. She would never know what had happened until it was too late. And that was exactly how I wanted it. The night before she was supposed to leave, I watched her pack. She had told me earlier in the week that she had a conference to attend. A boring corporate retreat. Lies, all of it. She folded dresses into her suitcase, humming softly. She looked so smug. I almost laughed. She thought she had one. But by this time tomorrow, she would be standing at the airport with no ticket, no refund, and no explanation. And then, she'd come home to a husband who wasn't there anymore. The morning of her flight, Brittany kissed me goodbye, her lips curling into a fake, innocent smile. "I'll call you when I land," she said, lying straight to my face. I smiled back. "Have a great trip." She walked out the door, rolling her suitcase behind her, completely unaware that she was walking into a disaster. I waited exactly 2 hours before executing the final part of my plan. I packed a single bag. Essentials. My documents. My laptop. Everything I needed to disappear before she came crawling back. Then, I walked out the door, leaving her betrayal and our marriage behind. And I turned off my phone. The messages didn't start coming in until hours later. At first, they were confused. "Babe, something's wrong with my ticket. They're saying it was canceled." Then, they turned into panic. "Randy, please, I need you to check our bank account. I can't find the reservation anymore. They're telling me the money was refunded. What's happening?" Then, the desperation. "Randy, where are you? Please pick up. I don't know what's going on. My card is declining. I need to talk to you." By the time she realized I had left, it was too late. I imagined her standing at the airport, frantically calling me, watching Ryan disappear when he realized there was no trip, no stolen vacation, no fantasy escape. She had planned to run away with him, and now she was left with nothing. Good. She deserved worse. I turned my phone back on 3 days later. 38 missed calls. Dozens of texts, all variations of, "Where are you? Please come home. We need to talk. I made a mistake." I didn't reply. She didn't deserve my words. I deleted the messages, blocked her number, and moved on. Because the moment she chose him, she lost me.